Hello, these are solutions to SAT quiz number 15, step by step. Question 1. If 12 plus 7x is 54 more than 14, what is the value of 3x? Well, be careful translating. As you set up the equation, we have 12 plus 7x equals 14 plus an extra 54, since the expression is 54 more. That will balance the expression with 68 by addition. So when we now know that the same expression is equal to 68, subtract 12 from both sides, we get 7x equals 56, divide by 7, we get x equals 8. But the question stem is, what's the value of 3 times that amount? So as an extra step, don't forget to multiply by 3. And the correct answer is A, 24. Question 2. It is 1,200 miles from a city in Florida to New York City. One fine day at 6 a.m., a car starts driving from Florida to New York at 75 miles per hour. On the same morning, a train leaves along the same route at 120 miles per hour at 10 a.m. That afternoon, a small plane traveling at 350 miles per hour takes off at 6 p.m. What are the orders of arrivals in New York City? Well, here we have rate times time equals distance problem, and I made one row for each of the modes of transport. For the car, going at a rate of 75 miles per hour, times a certain number of hours will cover the distance of 1,200 miles. The train also, going at 120 miles per hour, times a certain number of hours will be 1,200 miles as well, the same distance. And for the plane, 350 times some number of hours equals 1,200. So it's pretty simple math here to figure out the number of hours that each vehicle needs to complete the trip. So we take 1,200 and we divide by the rate, and we get the following times. Well, 1,200 divided by 75 is 16 hours for the car. 1,200 divided by 120 is 10 hours for the train. And 1,200 divided by 350 simplifies to 24 over 7 hours. So it's 3 3/7 hours, meaning 3 plus a little less than a half an hour. Next thing we do is, since we know the amount of time each vehicle traveled, we have to take the starting time when they started their journey, plus add those hours to get the travel time. What I used here is I used Army time to set up for the car, train, and plane. For the car that started at 6 a.m. plus another 16 hours is the 22nd hour of the 24-hour day. That's the equivalent to 10 p.m. The train starts at 10 a.m. plus it takes it 10 hours at its speed, for a total of 20 hours out of the 24-hour day. And that is 8 hours afternoon, or 8 p.m. And finally, the plane started in the afternoon at 6 p.m. and took 3 hours and about 26 minutes. Rounding, that's 3/7 of an hour. And so we would arrive at about 9:26 p.m. So in first place, the train will arrive at 8 p.m., the plane will arrive at 9:26 p.m., and the car will arrive at 10 p.m. The correct answer was C, train, plane, then automobile. So automobile also is an English term for the car. So correct answer is C. Question 3. In the equations below, F and B represent the price per pound in dollars of salmon and beef, respectively, X weeks after July 1st during last summer. What was the price of pound per beef when it was equal to the price of pound per salmon? Well, here we set the salmon price equal to the beef price and solve. The equation for beef was $9.35 plus a quarter for every extra week. And for salmon, it's $8.75, but then another 40 cents for every extra week. Subtract 0.25x from both sides and rebalance. Then subtract 8.75 from each side and rebalance, and we get 60 cents equals 0.15x. By multiplying both sides by 100, we get rid of the decimal, and we have 60 equals 15x. Divide by 15, excuse me, not divide by 4. Divide by 15. Sorry, let me fix that for you. Divide by 15, and we get 4 weeks equals x. Therefore, we can use either equation, knowing that it took 4 weeks for the prices to be the same after July 1st. And we get, using the beef equation, because 4 times a quarter is easier to work with, we get $9.35 plus 4 quarters, which is another dollar, is a total of $10.35. And the correct answer was C. Question number 4. A Navy archer on an aircraft carrier shoots a bow with a cable to the ship on the sea to send supplies along a line. How many seconds will it take for the arrow to reach the ship at sea when h of a equals 0? Well, here we have a best of line fit that's a quadratic for the estimating the shot of the arrow of the bow by the archer, which is negative 4.9 a squared plus 9.8 a plus 14.7. Well, this is an amazing best of line fit because when you divide all terms by negative 4.9, it becomes a squared, excuse me, there's a square missing here. A squared minus 2a minus 3, which we can factor. So again, since a equals 1, b equals negative 2, and c equals negative 3, we use find 2 factors that multiply to negative 3, say 1 and negative 3 or 3 and negative 1. Those are our 2 candidates. And summing them up, we do have a winner here. We have the sum of multiplied to c and adds to negative 2 would be the factors 1 and negative 3. So we set up the binomial factors of that quadratic as 0 now equals a plus 1 times a minus 3. Each factor setting equal to 0 will give us the location when the height is 0. So we have a plus 1 equals 0, so a is at negative 1. And that's extraneous because that we'd interpret that as 1 second before the archer launched his arrow from the ship. But he would have to be down at sea level in the waters down below. And then you'd have to shoot the arrow probably through the ship. So we throw that idea out as extraneous because that part of the parabola is before the launch, which was up at 14.7 meters. So we do have a real answer, though, is after the arrow is launched, it will go up, 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 and then come back down to the supply ship. Yeah, there's a ship down at sea level, which would be at height equals 0. And that does occur after 3 seconds of the arrow's flight. The correct answer is D, 3 seconds. Last question. Question number 5, challenge level. A dairy farmer uses a storage silo in the shape of a right circular cylinder, as shown below. If the volume of the silo is 72 pi cubic yards, what is the diameter of the base of the cylinder in yards? Here, you have to know the volume for prisms and cylinders is the volume is the base shape times its height as it's raised up like a column. So plugging in the given information, we're given that 72 pi equals, well, pi r squared, which the base is a circle, times the height 8. Divide both sides by 8 and cancel the pi's, dividing by pi. And we get 9 equals r squared. Take the square root, and the radius of the storage silo was 3 yards. Therefore, the diameter is double. So the correct answer was 6 yards. So make sure you bubble in the correct answer, 6. I hope that this, whoops. So what was that? Oh, that's an extra slide. All right, so I do hope that this video was useful to you in your preparation for the SAT as you review quiz number 15. And thank you for watching my video.